I promise I cannot stand FBAs. I cannot stand you folks that stand and declare, oh, I'm a foundational black American. Fool, you're African just like me. You're African just like every black person out here. And I know some of us were natives, but your ass ain't, though. None of the people in your family is native, okay? I don't give a shit what pictures you pop up with and da-da-da. Your granny ain't a native, okay? She might have slept with a native. She might have had some native in her that way. But you're not a native, okay? You are an African. Your roots began in Africa. I don't give a shit what type of convoluted conversation y'all sitting y'all monkey ass around having. You are an African, like it or not, fool. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Bruja Afrikan, coming to you all with a tarot reading. Go ahead and subscribe, like my channel, share my channel, because we are going to get right into our reading. Shout out to those of you who have been suggesting readings that have been kind of out of the box, like the reading that I'm getting ready to do right now. And I don't want to just necessarily call these readings. I just say y'all maybe want to see the energy surrounding certain things. So shout out to you if you requested a reading, even if it's about a celebrity. Shout out to you for requesting the reading. Right now we getting ready to do pull cards, or I've already pre-pulled cards prior to us logging on and hitting record, surrounding this situation. What are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Wait a minute. Yeah, see I call myself putting on a little face for y'all today. Cute. How y'all like it? I don't know, y'all. The Barb's told me I look like a transgender woman, so I want y'all to lean into the fact that y'all think that I'm a trans woman too, since that's their biggest insult. That and the forehead jokes, baby. Y'all in these forehead jokes. Listen to me when I tell you, this motherfucking forehead here, this beautiful ass brown skinned forehead that rests beneath these motherfucking curls that I need to cut into a butterfly cut so they can fall the way that I want them to fall, but I digress. This beautiful big ass forehead has been with me for 44 years, honey, almost 45, because we're almost in Leo season. And you know, your auntie is a Leo, and you know, prepare the trumpet, honey, because here the royals come. But anyway, honey, you cannot shake my confidence in myself, okay? Forehead jokes, that's all you got. And baby, look, I'm from St. Louis and we Jones all day. So if all you got is forehead jokes, just know that I'm getting ready to cook you, okay? And I mean, I'm getting ready to charbroil your ass, okay? We Jones all day from St. Louis. That's our specialty. You know anybody from St. Louis? Ask them if they don't play the dozens, or if they ain't been around people that play the dozens all motherfucking day, baby. That's what we do, okay? Don't fuck around, get your goddamn feelings hurt trying to go at a forehead that baby is wrapped in clear skin, okay? Just know that she ain't got much foundation on, okay? Girl, there's a motherfucking Leo in this bitch. Girl, ooh. Y'all know hoes got a problem calling motherfuckers ugly this week. Like, y'all, ooh, Nikki and her bullshit rants and calling Scissor ugly and shit. And y'all know goddamn well that is a motherfucking lie. Scissor is fucking gorgeous, honey. Ooh, we gonna get into that. But right now, we gonna talk about these FBAs, okay? I just wanted to prance and show out a little bit, you know, because word had said, you know, you hoes had been passing around a few little rumors, baby. As you can see, she's still beautiful. Okay, if you call yourself Thorn Witchwork, baby, you missed so terribly. I have been so blessed, so at peace, so happy, so fucking beautiful. Bitch, put that motherfucking Harry Potter wand down that your ass is waving around and sit the fuck down, okay? Before you make me mad and I have to fucking pop out and show your stupid ass. I had to put that out there, y'all, because these hoes with they dumb ass TikTok spell work is hilarious. Meanwhile, a lot of y'all faves is falling beneath spell work that has been put on them by real witches. But anyway, let's talk about the FBAs, y'all. And what is a fucking FBA? An FBA in my opinion, and I'm going to try to keep my personal opinion a little bit out of this, but just know I'm going to pepper that shit in there because on TikTok, the FBAs have decided to make it their mission to come at me. Not because of my name. I kind of baited them niggas out there. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I told them they still Africans, which is true. Okay? Stupid bitch. I said I was gonna be good today. I'll sip on my yerba and be good. Okay? I like these orange ones, y'all. These are the best tasting ones to me. But anyway, yeah, I kind of baited their ass out there. I kind of, said they still Africans. And where did I lie? Point to lie. Point to where the lie is, okay? Because at the end of all of that, oh, I'm not an African, you still have African roots, okay? You, while denying that you have African roots, those very slave and those ancestors of yours that were slaves, honey, they came from Africa as well, okay? I'm not saying that all black people were from Africa, nor am I stating that there were no black people in the United States, okay? But there are way too many of y'all that are jumping on this bandwagon. And not only are y'all jumping on this bandwagon, y'all are also claiming that you are not African, one. And two, this makes y'all Native American. And just imagine that. It's always, and excuse me, it's always one of y'all with that bell pepper in the middle of your motherfucking face and that watermelon smile and the motherfucking thick ass hot dog bun lips. It's always one of y'all claiming Native American heritage. Meanwhile, telling me you gonna call ICE on me. Oh yeah, these motherfuckers say this, y'all. They be in TikTok clowning. I be laughing my ass off and just saying any fucking thing to them to respond just to piss them off a little bit more. Because again, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. Those of y'all that's from St. Louis, yo, y'all know where BJC is, right? Y'all know where BJC is. That's where I was born. It's the hospital I was born in, okay? I was born at Jewish Hospital before they merged with Barnes, okay? Anyway, I'm not saying that black people were not in the U.S., okay? But what I am saying is it is a very high likelihood that you niggas that are claiming Native American heritage just because you might have heard that your grandmama or your great grandmother was a Native American. Some of y'all, it's true. Okay, a lot of y'all have pictures and paperwork, and not that you need to show me the shit or none of that or whatever. Those of you who it's true and you have documentation to show, not documentation because they ain't gonna give your nigga ass none, but you have pictures and photographs and shit to show your peoples with their tribe, then that's true. And I'm not talking to you. Yes, you are foundational Black American because your family was already here and was potentially misclassified as African American. But again, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to these niggas who got the same motherfucking either Haitian nose that I got, or they got the same African features that I got, like this large fucking forehead, or a smaller mouth, but it's full. Okay, it be one of us that's standing here with this whole African or Haitian or any of the other Caribbean islands that black people were stolen from. It's always one of us with the most nigga features, with the most faux motherfucking hair, talking about you a motherfucking Native American baby. Listen, and I know by DNA, hair and biology, all of that, hair can do whatever. It can just skip generations. Like your mama, well, your mama's whole household could have 4C hair, and one of y'all could have like 4B hair. Like it's weird like that. But baby, when I tell you, you still have some form of African heritage, okay? That's not me trying to diminish your connection to your ancestors on this American soil, because I have those same ancestors that y'all had. They probably was enslaved alongside my dad's side of the family. I've told y'all that my dad's side of the family was enslaved. My mama's side was not. Okay. My mama's side of the family was them Haitian folk, baby. They was in that revolt. They wasn't playing with these motherfucking crackers. Okay. That's where they came from. My dad's family, they were stolen. Now, it's not clear if it's really from Congo that they were stolen from or if they were stolen from Nigeria. And if they're both in the same place, like African folk, please talk to me and be like, girl, your American education has evaded you. They're the same place. Or if they're not, just hear me out. But anyway, plus I'm smoking. You know I'm being said some crazy shit. And I'm finna pull the cards. I'll put a timestamp in here when y'all for y'all to get the cards. But I just wanted to talk real quick. Anyway, my dad's side of the family was enslaved. They were stolen from some part of West Africa, let me put it like that. And before they were sold to the United States, they were pillaged and raped by the Arabs. So for a period of time, my dad's side of the family was captured by Arabs, okay? Long ass nose bridge, okay? After a while, some of them were sold again, okay? They were sold to like the Portuguese, and then the Portuguese turned around and sold them, brought them to America and sold them to the old Brady farm. And it was like a series of like decades between when they like series of 10 years and shit, you know, decades between, you know, years and years shit of them being sold and traded before they made it to the US to the O'Brady's. And I've told y'all before that the black Brady's were named Brady, and the white Brady's who owned them were the O'Brady's, and their name was spelled Obrada. It was DEH or some shit, like it was spelled completely different. So the town folk wouldn't get the slaves, the Brady slaves, confused with the O'Brady's. But well, let me go back. At first, the family was the O'Brady's, but they still spelled it Brady for the black slaves. But then they dropped the O off so that people wouldn't confuse them for the white O'Brady's. Anyway, don't know a whole lot about my mama's side of the family other than that they are Haitian, and that is a deep dive that I'm on myself. So whatever. Anyway, I say that to say to the FBAs that are making all this noise and creating all this hell and chaos and giving me a tickle. I want y'all to know I'm laughing about the shit because it's funny to me, because I know exactly who the fuck I am, even with the missing pieces. Y'all can't understand when people are connected to their African roots. Of course, I know that I'm physically an African, okay? Let me say that. Let me not take Africa away from myself the way that y'all are attempting to do. I'm physically an African whose people were brought to America and we were Americanized. I'm saying I'm an African, okay? Y'all can't get me to start that I'm a FBA bullshit, because it's alienating of the other black people around this fucking world, and I'm not going to do that. I'm way too interested in other black folks' culture and how they live, the folks outside of the U.S., for y'all to try to box every black person in the U.S. under, oh, you're a foundational black American, you should not be claiming Africa. Like, yo, I'm gonna be as Pan-African as I want to be, okay? At the end of the day, our ancestors probably slaved on the same land, okay? As much as they were bought and sold and mixed and mingled, okay? Yes, I know that I am not present day. And yes, I am. I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to. I am a fucking African, okay? I am an African. I'm an American as well. My nationality is American, okay? Black is not a race. It is a color in the fucking color wheel. Anyway, my rant is over. Let me remember that the cards begin at 1325. Anyway, what is a foundational black American, y'all might ask? According to AI, and I'm going to tell y'all what they told me themselves what they are. A foundational black American is a term used to describe black Americans who can trace their ancestry back to the system of slavery in the United States. The term distinguishes them from other black Americans who are more recent immigrants or whose ancestors were enslaved in other countries. Do y'all see how convoluted that is? Okay, for y'all to say that y'all are not Africans, you're missing it, okay? And also on my comments in TikTok, like it's underneath the video where I was telling them it's got you're still an African big across the screen. I was telling them the same thing, or at least attempting to say that. And this girl came underneath my comment and tried to lambast me, y'all. And she thought she ate. She was like, I'm not an African. And you don't need to identify with them either. Whatever bullshit she was saying. I'm paraphrasing. I might drop the fucking comment in the video after while I'm editing. But she was basically saying that Black Americans have more in common with the white slavers who enslaved their ancestors than they do the Africans they were stolen from. And I don't know, maybe y'all feel like that's true and factual, but I think that is utter bullshit. The only thing us Black people have in common with white people is that we're both human, okay? Our experiences are not shared. The things we go through are not shared. They're not the same. Y'all can say, oh, white people, well, let me say Caucasians. Caucasian people go through the same thing. They hurt, they bleed, they shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up. We're not going to turn this into the explain the Caucasian, the reason why we have so much in common with Caucasians, because cut it the fuck out. Y'all will do anything to separate yourselves from Africa, and I don't like that, okay? But you won't take Africa from me. There is a reason why I initiated under Fbas, baby, because I felt Africa in my motherfucking soul, although I was born in the United States. There is a connection there for me. And y'all won't mute it because you're trying to point out, oh, you have more in common with the O'Brady's of Memphis, Tennessee than you do with the Africans that your family was taken from you. You see how stupid that sounds? Anyway, let's get into these fucking cards because I done talked for fucking 16 minutes. Okay, for real, for real. The cards are being pulled now because it ain't that many cards. That's why I was talking so long. Anyway, we've heard what a FBA is, and it goes on to say on AI. This lineage is viewed by some as representing a unique and unbroken connection to individuals who built the nation and claim to being owed reparations for the harm of slavery and subsequent discriminatory practices. Those who subscribe to this concept emphasize the importance of distinguishing themselves from those who were born in Africa or are descended from people of African descent or whose ancestors were not enslaved in the US. So anyway, I'm not even finna go back into it because this reading will be too fucking long and I will never get into the cards. But just know that I think that this is fucking convoluted, okay? I gotta read this last part, y'all. It says, the concept of foundational Black Americans has been a rising trend in online spaces and is associated with calls for reparation for the horrors of slavery. However, the concept is also seen by some as potentially contributing, to divisions within the Black American community by focusing on a lineage-based distinction and potentially isolating other groups of Black Americans, according to the Minnesota spokesperson recorder. I agree wholeheartedly. It's trying to be exclusive to this club, but y'all are still trying to identify with them white folks, okay? I ain't buying it. Anyway, now that we've read all of that, we finna really get into this shit. I ain't time stamping shit. Y'all just gonna hear this whole shit out because sometimes y'all gotta be patient and hear the whole fucking message and let a bitch cook. Anyway, first, the set of questions that I have, or not questions, the way that I wanted to explain the cards is this. There are two different types of FBAs, in my opinion, and y'all might have a different description of how you describe the FBAs, but I feel like they are there are two different types of them. They are both house niggas. Don't misconstrue it. They are the type that feel like if they align themselves with white folks, they'll diminish their Black experience. Okay. And there are two different types that I've encountered. The two different types of FBAs that I fucking encounter are the ones that are destructive and will fight to death and defend the fact that their family was plantation owned, and that they, although this is true, we are owed reparations for the things that all of our ancestors have gone through, not just those that y'all are limiting these talks to that are allegedly only American soil born. No, what about those that were stolen and were never given the opportunity to become U.S. citizens and put in these situations to where is that they have nothing else? Like, y'all are not considering everybody that is in the diaspora, and I don't like it, okay? But they'll defend this damn concept of them being different, honey. They will sit on family secrets or distort things with within their own family lineage. You know, they'll make it seem like they were treated well, or their family may have been treated well, although they were slaves. Yeah, they were slaves, but they wasn't slaves, shit like that. You know, they have a open denial to everything that is Africa, and they are comfortable with being them house niggas as long as they are not out in the field. And don't get me wrong, there are some field niggas, okay? There are some there are some field niggas that absolutely believe that because they ancestors was picking cotton, they definitely ain't got nothing to do with the folks that's from the Caribbean islands or the Africans or the Haitians, you know, or the Afro Latinos, those folks that are black, okay? They separate themselves completely. They have put themselves in this whole little box of anti non-American black that is almost it's rooted in motherfucking white supremacy and Stockholm syndrome a little bit. Anyway, they refuse to have any history or any ties with anything that is African, okay? Including, like I said, pretending that their history is different and stating that they are Native Americans, and they really are not. They even speak like they are better than or look down on Africans, or have this whole attitude of they're better than what African people are, not realizing that they themselves are embarrassing their own ancestors. Those ancestors that y'all brag on, that tilled the soil and built this land that we currently live on, y'all are embarrassing the shit out of them, okay? Y'all are making them feel like all of their work was in vain. Y'all feel like if you manipulate the true fact that you absolutely, no matter what, have African blood in you, African roots, okay? When you get done, your family still came from Africa some kind of way. There's an African connection there. Baby, they will manipulate that and fight you to death about it, honey. As long as they feel like they're separating themselves or making themselves not in alignment with being African or being an African or being called an African or being classified as an African, they feel like that gives them a seat at the table, that white adjacency, okay? They feel like this will give them the opportunity to have that white life, okay? It ain't even about being successful in black. Not to all of them, because some of them it is, and I'm not saying all FBAs are ignorant. I'm not saying that, but they're the loudest ones are wild ignorant, okay? Like your Tariq Nasheeds, your Lord Jamars. These niggas is ignorant, okay? And specifically as for Lord Jamar, we'll talk about that later. I'll probably do that for my members only. He ain't the nigga that he presented himself to be at all, okay? At all. In person, he is a totally different, like, derelict of a motherfucking nigga, okay? I remember, just to throw a quick story out there, me and ex-husband had gone to CIAA, and he came with us because my ex-husband had went and picked him up, and they were hanging out. First thing this bitch says when we walked into the motherfucking venue is, where the hoes at? Speaking about black women, of course, because y'all know CIAA is held in North Carolina, and you know it's in Charlotte, and you know it's an overwhelming black presence down there. All them black colleges and shit's lit. But you supposedly being a foundational black American seeking reparations for the harm, and I'm not quoting harm as if it wasn't done, because they absolutely caused so much generational harm to our people that we are still feeling it now. And instead of us fighting over who is from Africa, who's not from Africa, or whether you have African roots or not, and you absolutely do, we need to be working on healing these generational traumas that were caused by these very people that these motherfuckers are trying to align themselves with, forgetting all about what their ancestors went through, okay? Forgetting that they may have been stolen, buying into the perverted truths or perverse things that are being said, like the shit that Kanye West was saying about black people, slavery being a choice and shit. Like, y'all, FBA's bought off into that shit heavily, okay? Anyway, let's talk about the Stockholm Syndrome Negro FBA, the field nigga, okay? Although they know that they have come from generational trauma, just like the majority of us black folk, okay? Even those that were not, that were free men, okay? Even those of us who come from families that were free men, they still had their issues with these Caucasians, okay? Shit was still going on. There were still other people in this country other than white people that were adopting the racist practices of the fucking Caucasian American. Okay? Let us not forget that not Native American, but Indian people were in the country. There were some Latino people, Latin folk that were in the country, the Spaniards, that was promoting the idea of racism, okay? So the same ancestors that went through some shit that were not slaves went through the same shit potentially that the slaves went through, except they may not have been beaten, but they were hung and other shit was happening to them, okay? So y'all can't discredit folk, all right? But yeah, y'all full of ego about y'all ancestors, okay? The field niggas, okay? This is the first type I want to talk about, okay? These are the offspring of the Negroes still looking to be accepted in the big house. Oh, they definitely ain't got shit to do with nothing African, baby. They feel more, like I said, connection to the descendants of the slave owners, okay? The slave owner, than they do than their own African heritage, okay? They feel like, again, they'll fight you tooth and nail. A lot of them go to bed with this shit on their mind, denying their African heritage, denying everything that connects them to where all of us begin at, okay? They feel like, again, this is their opportunity to get close to the very people who harmed their ancestors. These are probably those people those FBAs that claim to be super black but date outside of the race. Those same FBAs that have this very high standard for black women, that are very abusive to black women, that treat black women poorly, like just overall a piece of shit to black women. But they feel like they have, well, I guess they do have that in common with those folks that enslaved their ancestors, huh? Those very same folks that beat the shit out of their ancestors, they are trying to find a commonality with them, trying to find some type of familial bond. Oh, you own my family, and my great grandmama was light skinned, so you must be my cousin type nigga. This is the Stockholm syndrome ass field nigga ass motherfucking FBA, okay? Feels like even though there was pain and hurt, we can find some type of camaraderie, some type of solution, because I feel like I've been left outside of the family, okay? They feel like the lies were told about the connections to who great grandmama was to this white slave master. No, she must be more. And baby, these are the ones that will fight legally to remove themselves, like have some type of bill going up or some dumb shit. Sometimes not even bill. Let me not get them that much because they're not that smart. They'll have some type of bullshit going up on TikTok or something. I'm gonna say TikTok because that's their favorite home. That's where them idiots live. Okay, they had this shit going on TikTok and fighting tooth and nail about how, oh, we should be legally tied to the white folks that owned us, and we should get a share of their land, and just basically being niggas and moving in on shit that technically doesn't belong to them, unless you have a history of your family owning this land, and these white folks just stole it as they typically do when it was dealing with older situations such as slaves or older black folk, like in the silent generation, or I forget the generation prior to the silent generation, the lost generation. Shit dealing with the lost generation, yeah, that shit got lost. So unless you have your documentation for that, baby, ain't nothing coming, okay? Ain't nothing coming. You will not sit at the table with them folk that owned your family. Like, why would you even want to be around them motherfuckers, huh? Why would you even want to be around the same people who did tragic things to your ancestors? Y'all finding that commonality with the people that enslaved your people is just mind-boggling to me. What do you mean? Oh, they are the ones also, y'all. Some of them, not all of them. Let me make sure I say that again. They are the ones also that feel like they should be able to claim some sort of mixed identity instead of just completely black, because they are comfortable, and I'm using the word comfortable, with the idea of knowing that their family was raped and pillaged by some Caucasian heathen, okay? And they're like, well, since he's the heathen that stole the melanin from the family in the first place, or started the breakdown of the melanin, we should be able to claim more of his heritage instead of just saying we just all black and just regular black. These niggas is stupid, okay? But I don't want to make this video super long because it's already 30 minutes. Let's talk about the other type of Negro, the other FBA house nigga that I've encountered, okay? They are the ones that I was talking about. I'm not African, I'm Native American Negroes, or I'm mixed Negroes, and that's not those that know that they're mixed. I'm not talking about them people. Again, I'm talking about them folk whose skin is as brown as or darker than mine. Those that have the classic African features, okay? Nothing wrong with African features, but just let me cook. Those that always have the most African features are the main ones that want to tie a motherfucking turkey feather in their goddamn head and be running around here claiming Native American, and not only claiming Native American, claiming the wrong fucking tribe, y'all, okay? These motherfuckers that, again, were the house niggas, or the ones that were the free Negroes, the ones that, the Geechees, them blue vein folk down in Louisiana and down south, them folk that may have come from down there, or them folk that was up north that was getting jiggy with the white folk early on, okay? They feel like since we were not slaves, we weren't in the house, we were the ones that were allowed to just live our regular life because we were white passing, or we were the ones, or we're related to the ones that were white passing, or the ones that y'all claim are Native American, but they are really half white. They feel like, well, since there's that connection, generations and generations and generations ago, I'm talking about these motherfuckers be reaching y'all all the way back to the 1800s, pulling photos of people that they claim, and they very well may have been free Negroes. Like I said, a lot of our family members were free Negroes, were not enslaved. But they feel like this gives them an opportunity to open the door up for them to claim other heritage other than African. These are the Negroes that believe that no black person in America came from Africa, and that we've all been misclassified as African because our skin is a darker hue. But in reality, they feel that most of us are Native Americans, and they use this as an opportunity to, like I said, tie a fucking turkey feather in their head and start claiming the wrong Native American tribe. A lot of them claim Apache, and skin be darker than mine. Now, I might be wrong, and if you're a Native American person, first of all, shout out to you, much love. But ain't the Apache folk, wasn't they real bright skinned folk? Wasn't they the ones that the white folk really, really, really infiltrated and stole most of the melanin out their skin? Not saying y'all look like white folk. I ain't trying to disrespect you. Please don't whip my ass, okay? But aren't Apaches the ones that was real light skinned? Niggas always find themselves saying this is what they great grandmama was. Or what's the other one? Cherokee. You niggas love to claim Cherokee. Oh my God. Don't let they motherfucking ass have curl any of the three or the two type hair type, baby. They will walk that shit down, baby. Oh, my great grandmama was a Cherokee Indian and says Indian being fucking racially wrong, okay? Being racist in a motherfucker instead of saying Native American, because Indians are from fucking India, okay? Native Americans are from America. Your African ass ain't in neither is mine, but you keep on going now. Anyway, let me cook. I feel like this is their opportunity, baby, to say, oh, well, yeah, my great grandmama, great granddaddy, excuse me, was light skinned and had curly hair, so that makes me a Native American, or I'm not black, I'm Native American, I'm not from Africa, trying to finesse their way into a tribe that they don't belong to. And from what I've seen and read, and again, this isn't just absolute. This is just from what I've read. The black people that are black Native Americans, they're like Choctaws, right? And it's some more. But it's the Native Americans that's brown skin and the dark skinned folk. You know a dark skinned Native American when you see one, okay? And you can also tell when those of us who are have Native American heritage, you can see it, okay? Native Americans have very strong genes. That shit don't skip a bloodline, okay? So if your great great grandmama was really a Native American, it's showing up all in your face, okay? Most of these folks that feel like because their skin is a bit lighter or a bit lighter brown are the main ones, like I said, with the full classic African features. And again, ain't nothing wrong with it, but bitch, I know you lying. Yeah, they find this is their opportunity and they even try to go as far as to legally prove it, Again, like I said, some of y'all grandmamas and grandfathers or great grandmothers and great grandfathers truly are or were Native American. I'm not disputing that. But the majority of y'all people have been lying to y'all, okay? And they have no relationship or no familial connection with the Native American community. However, what your motherfucking black ass family has been doing or trying to do is to profit from it, okay? You're trying to profit from it. There's no familial connection to it, but there's familial connection to Africa, and you'll deny it every time, though. Just like, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but the little black twin boys that were up on the reservation in Georgia swimming and shit, I'm willing to bet that they family had been lying to them, telling them that they family had Native American deep in them, and they were allowed to go up there, and that's what happened to them boys. Yes, they ended up dead. Okay. And nobody at that Native American reservation has said anything yet, and they are not going to. You know why? Because black folk, we got to stop making it a habit carrying our ass where we ain't accepted, appreciated, or wanted. Okay? What a lot of y'all are gonna do is find out that y'all family been lying to y'all about y'all goddamn family familial connections, okay? And a lot of y'all gonna be heartbroken about this shit. Like, oh no, I'm really an African. Yes, bitch, you really is an African. Yes, the fuck you are. Unfortunately, you probably one of them Fulani niggas that sold your people. That's why you are over here trying to deny your African heritage. You probably originate from them fucking folk that sold us, honey. Now that much I do know about my dad's family. Somehow Fulani some Fulani tribesmen or some of the Fulani army is who collected my people and sold them. Okay, they enslaved them first and then sold them off to the Arabs. But anyway, yes, baby, y'all will be hurt, honey, to your soul to find out for real that you have been lied to about your origins. Okay, and most of y'all have been. Okay. There's nothing wrong with you accepting your African heritage. I'm not walking you away from being an American. No, I'm not, because we all are Americans, asshole. Okay? But what I am saying is acknowledge that your family started in Africa as well. Not even asking you to pick up being an African American or being Pan African. You ain't got to be none of that. But what you is going to do, nigga, is stop being disrespectful to those of us who want to embrace and want to accentuate, engulf ourselves in, learn about our African roots and our African heritage, okay? You go ahead and find your connection to those folks that enslaved your family, them white folks or whomever caught your folks up out there tripping, whoever it is that you feel like is the one that is owed the respect, okay? You feel like the one that deserves your familial bond. You go ahead and do all of that, okay? But when you hit them brick walls, as y'all normally do when you're trying to sit your ass in them non-black spaces, them spaces where them motherfuckers have already shown that they ain't fucking with black people, when your ass gets stopped, okay? Or you hit that brick wall, don't blame no one else, okay? When they send your ass running, don't bring your ass back talking about, oh, it's racist. No, you were warned. You were told. It's not that black people shouldn't take up space everywhere, because we should. But the fact that y'all are trying to take up space everywhere except for when it comes to identifying that your heritage started in Africa is insane. But just remember that when they send you packing and kick you out and let you know, no, you're still not a part of the white club or the club that is non-black like you, it's still black, okay? Just know that. Just know that when you are listening to a guy like Tariq Nasheed, he's in it for nothing but making himself look good, okay? He's in it for making sure that he has followers, okay? He's in it for shit like making sure that people walk away from African heritage, knowing that your black ass grandmama definitely has African features and all of that and above, and your black ass granddaddy, okay? He's one of those that profits off of dividing us in the diaspora, okay? And as I stated before, we're all black. All of our ancestors worked this soil, okay? At some point. And especially those of us who are or were born in America, that were born and raised here, okay? Mama and daddy born here, grandmama, granddaddy born here, all of that, But we still acknowledge our African roots. Leave us the fuck alone, okay? If you want to be anti-black and you want to follow people like Tariq Nasheed, by all means do that. But leave us the fuck alone. Leave us to our African connection. Let us identify as African. Let us be as loud as we want to be with our connection with our ancestors that were stolen from Africa and those that helped build this fucking country, okay? I think y'all are thinking that we are excluding those, but we're not, asshole, okay? We are acknowledging them, but we're reaching back further and acknowledging those family members that we were disconnected from, okay? All right, y'all. Feel the sacred glow in the realm.